Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The graduation ceremony is due to begin shortly. Could all guests please take their seats? Could you also refrain from taking any flash photography? Please ensure your mobile devices are set to silent. And should there be any need for an evacuation, please follow the directions of the venue. Thank you.
Across the world, we gather. Across the world, we learn. From each other, about each other, with each other.
With this quarantine, I'm not going stir crazy because I also have this little fluff ball.
Got a desk set up here with my laptop on a stand, a bit of paper on the side.
It was my first experience pitching to a real client.
In my mind, this is a fast track to these people being our industry leaders of the future.
Having studied and getting the knowledge here, and transferring it back to the community is just a way of saving people's lives, Saving people's lives doesn't mean that someone is going to die and you're saving it. No. Somebody might be in a very bad, hard situation, but due to my knowledge, I can help him.
You are now a part of a graduate network that spans across the globe. Make sure you leverage it and connect with your fellow alumni.
When you're out in the industry, it doesn't matter what year you graduated. It doesn't matter how old you are. Because when it comes out to the industry and we're networking with each other, we can all have like-minded skills.
When it's a no-brainer and it's in your blood and it burns and it's what you know and it's what you love, and you wake up in the morning, you think about it, and you just have to do it at all costs. You do it. You're unstoppable at it.
I encourage you to keep persevering, don't give up, and have fun along the way. I did.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Torrens University Australia Think Education and Health graduation ceremony. Would you please all be upstanding to welcome the academic procession? Thank you. Please be seated. So please welcome to stage Ms. Rochelle Morris, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Liaison for Torrens University Australia, for today's Acknowledgement to Country.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin our proceedings today, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I would also like to pay respect to the elders past and present and extend that respect to other Aboriginal people present today. I would like to acknowledge that this gathering is being held on Aboriginal land and recognise the strength and resilience of its people. As we share our own knowledge, teaching, learning and research practices within this university, may we also pay respect to the knowledge embedded forever within Aboriginal custodianship of country. Thank you.
Could we all please stand for the national anthem, which will be performed by Rebecca Murphy.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Please be seated. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to stage Professor Emeritus Kath Rogers, the Dean of Health for Torrens University Australia and Think Education Australia. Thank you.
Good morning. It is so wonderful to see you all. Thank you for coming, and what a wonderful day for you all. We are so excited. It's my very great pleasure to formally welcome you to the 2021 Sydney Health and Education graduation for Torrens University Australia and Think Education. Now, I have many people to formally welcome. Firstly, I'd like to extend a warm welcome, to Linda Brown, CEO, Strategic Education Incorporated Australia and New Zealand and President of Torrens University Australia. President Alwyn Louw, Vice Chancellor of Torrens University and Academic Director of Think Education Australia. Associate Professor Pam McGaw, Associate Dean of Health and Education, Torrens University and Think Education Australia. Kath Curry, General Manager of Health, Torrens University Australia and Think Education Australia. You're going to get me tired of me saying that, aren't you? Professor Kerry London, Pro-Vice Chancellor Research, Torrens University. Scott Luckett, Chief Financial Officer, and I'm not going to say the rest. Also, a very warm welcome to my fellow academic staff, graduates, family and friends, and everyone who's helped bring this ceremony together at this amazing time. I think it's just so wonderful we can be here today. Graduates, today's ceremony is both a wonderful celebration and an important rite of passage in your lives. We all need moments where we pause the rush of everyday life to reflect and celebrate. Each of you will have your own individual feelings and thoughts about graduating, but together we collectively celebrate this critical milestone in your lives and acknowledge the hard work and perseverance which brought you here. As we begin today's ceremony, also allow me, on behalf of the entire Torrens University and Think Education team, to extend warmest congratulations to you all and also acknowledge the support that has helped you along the way. To all the family and friends with us today and those who couldn't be here in person, we thank you. Thank you for the encouragement you've offered and in many cases for the sacrifices you've made so that your student could earn their degree or diploma. Graduands, we are here today to celebrate and praise your achievements. By choosing to engage in further study, you've shown us and yourselves that you're prepared to challenge your own boundaries, break out of them and redefine them. By choosing to study with Think Education or Torrens University Australia, you've also become part of an educational institution which chooses to challenge its own boundaries and redefine the nature of vocational and higher education in Australia. We celebrate your graduation, knowing that as your journey continues, you'll continue to embody Torrens' Be Good mission by serving and caring for others in your own distinctive way. I now have the greatest pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker, Ms. Elisabeth Shaw. Ms. Elisabeth Shaw is Chief Executive Officer for Relationships Australia. She's a clinical and counselling psychologist and a graduate of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. She's a senior consultant at the Ethics Centre. She's taught in clinical ethics and MBA programs in a number of universities. Elisabeth also serves, I don't know where you find the time, Elisabeth, to serve on a number of not-for-profit boards and has also published in the area of clinical practice ethics. Please join with me in welcoming Ms. Elisabeth Shaw.
Well, it is great to be here, and the most important thing to say is congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to Torrens University for another job well done. It's a huge achievement to be here in every sense of the word. So I guess the other thing is that it's really an important point in our time in our communities that we can acknowledge that you're entering some of the most purposeful and needed professions on the planet, that your skills are going to be cross-cultural, global, translatable and transferable. Everyone needs you. You've entered vast industries. Education, as you would know, is Australia's third largest export, worth $28 billion a year to us. And so we're very pleased in Australia to invest in students coming to Australia to avail themselves of our education. But it's also worth knowing that your education will be valued should you return to other countries or seek work in other countries for periods, which can also be a whole set of exciting opportunities for you. The healthcare and social assistance industry is the largest employing industry in Australia. In 2020, there were over 1.7 million people employed in the industry, which is projected to increase to more than 1.9 million by 2024. The choices that you have are endless, and this is really exciting for you. COVID has finally, one of the small benefits perhaps is that it's drawn some recognition to education and to healthcare, and there's a celebration of these very noble professions, and it's about time. Caring for and directly contributing to the lives of others is the noblest of work, in my humble opinion. You will know this, of course, and those you assist will know this, but you still may experience some dissonance in how the work is perceived throughout society. Often under-resourced and certainly underpaid, what will drive you to persist and to grow and to thrive is the enormous level of work satisfaction that you will experience. There's plenty of research that tells us about the health benefits of having a purpose. We know that those who have little purpose in their day will shrivel. They will lose skills and motivation, their mood will drop and their hope for the future recedes. In terms of career, work is seen to be purposeful when it contributes meaning to an individual's life and has relevance to the greater community. You've all studied and will now enter careers that have this core purpose, But it will be up to you to attach that purpose to your individual purpose and what is going to drive you going forward on a personal level. Selfless giving, which focuses only on what we give others, is a fast track to martyrdom and burnout. Many in the helping professions actually deny their own needs, as if we should always talk about those in need and that can't possibly be us. But in fact, it's much healthier to own your own motivation. Personally, I find my clinical work endlessly fascinating. It remains very intellectually stimulating for me, and I like to be tested in my skills. I like to be on the edge of my seat. I certainly get a lot of satisfaction out of helping others. That is a genuine pleasure to me. But it's also, I love to see the process of change, which is about working with people to learn their new skills, feeling better, or their relationships improving. I like to work as a team. I like to earn a decent income because I have a family to support. I don't actually take on clinical work that doesn't suit me. And you might think, well, geez, that's selfish. That isn't a very good thing to say. But in fact, knowing yourself well and knowing the limits and the boundaries to what you can give and knowing where you can do your best work and to be very honest with yourself about that is a good way to practice ethically. That you have to have good boundaries to be able to draw lines and say enough is enough in order to stay fresh enough to help. Saying no is actually a healthy position, and it helps achieve a balanced life because you're in professions where there will be plenty to say yes to. So knowing how to say no is actually really important. And you can imagine as a therapist, if I felt that every spot of my life was about therapy, I'd never be able to go to a dinner party or anything without being in role. So I have to know where I'm at work and where I'm not. Much of our education, in fact, helps us to assist the mainstream in society, the people whose problems or needs broadly fit within the norm and where the strategies that we've worked so hard to learn in our education apply most easily. We don't really like it, if we're honest, that when our best efforts don't seem to help or where change isn't easy. And that also tells us that we're not as selfless as we think we are. It can also explain why some of the most vulnerable in society get so little focus in professionals' choice of career. How many of you really are going to want to work with the frail-aged, people with intellectual disabilities, people who speak languages that we don't know, people who've been traumatised, kids with learning difficulties, people in remote communities? In all of these areas, it's really hard to recruit. Even within the helping professions, we can limit our helpfulness. Some of that is a personal choice, and of course it's a good ethical decision if you don't feel that you could be well suited to those areas. But it also could be that those of us who are well trained to help also might get uncomfortable when things get hard or when things are a bit stuck or too painful or too entrenched. Schools catering to kids with special needs will find it much harder to recruit than the big private schools in Sydney. Aged care facilities will struggle to find nurses far more than some of the private hospitals. Think about where you will be best suited and will excel in your field. Don't be afraid of a challenge and to learn new things. The hardest work can actually be the most rewarding long term. What struck me when I graduated from my undergraduate psychology degree was actually how unskilled and inept I was. I felt fairly fancy and I thought I had some saleable skills and I quickly learnt that I was fairly close to useless and had to own that, and that my degree in fact was the first step on what, I was trying to think about this image. I wrote down the first step on a staircase and then I wondered what staircase this was, because sometimes it feels like a spiral staircase or one of those ones that goes up into the clouds and you never see the top. Because I think the thing is we are in professions where we are endless learners. Unlike other careers where you actually can get a degree and get on-the-job experience, we actually are required to do professional development, and this is a good thing. So we will always be learning, and it's not a burden, it's actually a pleasure. It's one of the ways that we get fed and stimulated, and we thrive, and we turn our fine minds to new problems. It helps us help others, but it helps us stay engaged. And I encourage you, I know right now you're exhausted and think if I never enrol in another course, I'll be a very happy person. But when you've had a bit of time to relax, you could take up a 2-day workshop here or there and probably really enjoy it. However, whatever skills we learn professionally, the things we realise that in the end, offering the people we are assisting is our unconditional positive regard, being open at all times to their experience, to walk in their shoes, to be good listeners, to be people of our word, and to really value and respect that everybody is different, and that's not about being better or worse, and to know that we're learning alongside them. Indeed, my best skills have been learnt from my clients, and what worked for them and the feedback they gave has been very rich, and some of it has stayed with me 30 years down the track. We need to actually carry our expertise very lightly because sometimes it's the smallest component in change. And in fact, there is research on this. Some years ago, there was research in the counselling field that talked about what are the major factors in change. And 40% of change was extraneous factors like the client won lotto or got a new job or bought a dog, in fact. And I thought, well, that's very humbling because that's nothing to do with me. I can't engineer that. And in fact, 30% was the value of the relationship. And I thought, well, I can do something about that. I can be a good relationship person. Only 15% was, in fact, the technique that I had. And I've got multiple degrees. I'm a terrible studier. I go on and on and on. And only 15% of that is going to be of any value to my clients. It's very valuable to me. So I think we've got to get ourselves in proportion, and we've got to be a bit humble and to remember that the luck and opportunity is often part of the mix of success. And so, of course, we've got things to offer, and we should value that. However, it is the recipients of our service who are the experts on their lives. We are but temporary contributors, whether that is a year of being their teacher or whether it is 10 sessions of therapy or a brief stint in hospital. In what might be a brief exchange, what we want to do is achieve something meaningful and a positive experience so that that person says, you know what, when I got help or I was helped, it was a good experience for me and I'm open to the next experience. If we can do that, if we can leave that legacy, pass the baton to the next person, that's very rich. Many of us do look back on our favourite teacher and or our, that lovely nurse or the doctor who really listened to us. And it wasn't, in fact, the person who did everything we wanted or it wasn't a popularity contest. What it was a person with whom we felt the exchange was meaningful, who was kind to us at the right time, and it probably wasn't very fancy what they did or sophisticated, but it mattered because we felt we mattered in that moment, and to treasure that as much as the skills that you've learnt. So you've achieved one of the first building blocks from which your career can flourish. We know that from now, there's plenty of research that says that you may have multiple careers in your lifespan. Health workers and educators often become leaders, managers and administrators. We go into corporate wellbeing programs and human resource management. We start businesses. For me, as a family therapist, I've always been fascinated by systems. I own my own psychotherapy practice. I'm a CEO. I'm on boards. These are all groups of people. I live in systems as we all do. So my skills take me in all sorts of different directions, and that is a great pleasure. But I do also see clients. I've got colleagues who were psychotherapists who started out as nurses. In my CEO role, I've got trainers who started out as teachers. You have a malleable skill set and it will take you in all sorts of new directions that maybe you can't even picture right now. And that is because collectively you have people skills, which are the best skills of all. In fact, the worst people I have ever worked with in my career are the people who not that they were unskilled or untrained, because that's always recoverable, but they were people who were poor at relationships. And they're the people who really wear you down. And some of those people were from the helping profession. So we should not kid ourselves that because we've learned helping skills, we're the nicest people on the planet, because we're definitely not necessarily. We'd like to be. So I think, though, to remember that professional skills are a great thing, but in fact, building your personal skills and your relationship skills alongside your technical skills is really important. Be a good colleague, be at each other's back, value collegiality. We need each other to practice well. The greatest risk factors for people who transgress is they get isolated. I hope that you stay in touch with your colleagues in the room and you see each other through into your careers. So I wish you the very best with your careers ahead. Welcome to a truly wonderful club. You're on a great journey. Congratulations again.
Elisabeth, can you just come back? Elisabeth, you know, all of us learnt so much from what you just said, and honestly, thoughtfully prepared, provoking for all of us. And really, what I heard you say then is that we are our own instruments and we should never stop crafting and honing and tuning those instruments. Thank you so much for a beautiful speech.
Thank you.
We were very fortunate, I think, to hear that wisdom. Moving along, I'll now call upon Linda Brown, CEO, Strategic Education Australia and New Zealand, President, Torrens University Australia, to confer the academic awards. Please welcome Linda.
Can I ask the graduates to stand, please? By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the governing boards of Torrens University Australia and Think Education, I shall confer certain degrees. I certify that the candidates present and those in absentia have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission to certain degrees and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of these degrees. Congratulations.
I will now present each candidate for admission. As they make their way down. This is the most exciting moment, isn't it? As we wait for our graduates to cross the stage, receive their awards, become graduates. There'll be an opportunity, each person will be photographed, so rest assured you'll have a momentum of this special occasion. I'd like to welcome to the stage Dr. Antonia Tsenekikis. She is successful in receiving her Doctor of Philosophy Health today. Congratulations. Antonia's PhD explored the father-dynamic relationship and its impact on the development of bulimia nervosa. Antonia was supervised by Associate Professor Michelle Mars and Dr. Werner Saltman-Fries. She identified that a complex trauma approach that includes a holistic philosophy will provide greater hope of recovery for people living with bulimia nervosa. Congratulations, Doctor. Thank you. Vice-Chancellor, I'd now like to present the Higher Education Graduates, Torrens University Australia Education Faculty. For the Bachelor of Performing Arts, Stage and Screen, Aidan Cheam. Bethany Capps. Kieran Dermot O'Riordan. Kane Sampson Spence. For the Graduate Certificate in Learning and Teaching, Lee Chun Buckley. Michelle Mervinack. Sandra Galernasy. Sonia Ferrara. Suzanne Rebecca Stevens. Teresa Yu. For the Graduate Certificate of Education, Autism, Rita Denise Molyneux. For the Master of Education, Innovation and Change, Leanne Beth Shibata. Dolga Sarod. Enkased Sharadori. Jism Yamaza. Henrique Marcelino dos Santo. Lior Pineda Vera. Mahmoud Alamad. Maria Fatima Asina Rodrigo. Nitty Pearl Goel. Sapna Rani. Saida Shaista Noor. I would like to present the vocational graduates, Think Education Health Faculty, for the Diploma of Nursing, Abigail Boateng. Ajur Mayen Dongren. Alana Christina Louw. Amira Sharoof. Ansvar Anna Varghese. Ashley Jacob Hoser. Brooke Gajar. Kristen Cadavo. Daisy Yuen Manlung. Erin Shaborn Kelly. Emma Jane Wilkins. Eunice Adriano. Gabrielle Megan Richardson. Jacinta Angina Ram. Jennifer Silver Ann Palusa. Joyceanna Elizabeth Cocker. Carina Louise Francis McGuinness. Kim Adams. Kimberly Ann Adeo Alano. Malik El Haddad. That's so beautiful. Malin Sinsaram. Mardia. Maria Lourdes Macanas McKieran. Mayank Bhati. McJulian Della Pinafranco. Michelle Cia Mendoza. Patricia Maria Kluber. Prem Collet. Ross Jordan Santos. Ruth Smith. Sar James. Sanju Cadell. Sivamanthi Vignarajan. Somaye Bayani. Sujata Upreti. Sunia Ladanau Tuata Favour. Veena Vishalna Lata. I would like to present the Higher Education graduates, Think Education Health Faculty, for the Diploma of Applied Social Science, Angel Benyamin. For the Diploma of Health Science, Cindy Rodriguez. Danuta Palme. Elisabeth Regina Isaac. Rebecca E. McClelland. Samantha Whitelock. For the Bachelor of Applied Social Science Community Services, Judith Weeks. For the Bachelor of Applied Social Science Counselling, Hitika Bhatia. Rebecca Adorni. For the Bachelor of Health Science Clinical Nutrition, Denise Patel. Kei-Hiwi Chang. Linda Maria Zetterland. Michaela Murphy. Stephanie Sandor. Tai Ho-Tu Lee. For the Bachelor of Health Science Naturopathy, Alexandra Shaw. Azura Jenkins. Bryony Rain Kalako. Christine May Hagley. Emma Darnell. Fatima Alzara Al-Kakuni. Fernanda Quiros Rubino. Catherine Ann Drager. Kevin Anderson. Lisa McNaughton. Melanie Harrison. Sophia Tsenekikis. Sophia Tsenekikis. Tracy James Scott. Yuri Sato. For the Bachelor of Health Science, Nutritional Medicine, Baronia Roxburgh. Daisy Manson. Emily Claire Dennis. Julie Laurenti. Kira Moole. Laura Jeeves. Lauren Parchi. Lisa Sherman. Sharon Osborne. Seo Ling Oi. Vivian Panrulin. For the Graduate Diploma of Counselling, Amanda Byrne. Efrain Andre Figueiredo Ekiandia. For the Master of Counselling and Applied Psychotherapy, Anna Marija Kaluda. And Kika Jurek. Elizabeth Carr. Holly Missio Spiteri. Ivana Derlich. Jane Ines MacDonald. Jean Kenyon. Michelle Rousseau. Olga Karanovskaya. Vice-Chancellor, I would like to present the Higher Education graduates for Torrens University Health Faculty Diploma of Beauty and Spa Practice, Charlie Lee McMurray. Christina Croller. Isabel Creecree. For the Diploma of Counselling and Communication Skills, Hannah Rochelle Mortley. Susan Homer. For the Diploma of Health Science, Georgia Bonomi. Luciana Carusi. Natasha Marie Thompson. For the Diploma of Nutrition, Brett Nerthen. Stephanie Nicole Mortimer. For the Diploma of Sport Development, Alan Vols Hemasilla. Dylan John Paul Reading. For the Bachelor of Health Science Aesthetics, Louisa Lucia Milton. For the Bachelor of Nutrition, Adelaide Mary Joan Lewis. Jessica Cheryl Steen. For the Graduate Certificate in Public Health, Jane Lee. For the Graduate Diploma of Public Health, the Debo Tematope Ajibola. For the Master of Public Health Advanced, Alina Rana. Alizna Garwali. Amajit Kaur. Anita Kadkar. Ashia Banu Syed. Ashish Joshi. Bhushan Kadawada. Bamala Badarai Darkle. Benita Shrestha. Deepak Bahara. Doma Tamang. Dusna Chetri. Emilija Shkovska. Emmanuel Adusiapoku. Erica Juliet Hannah Bermudez. Geraldine Angway Buenaventura. Janelle Ramandium Hanapoi. Jyoti Kunwa. Kamala Paneru. Kashi Wasti. Kahinda Olugbenga Adiogun. Khaled Zobi. Crispa Maharajan. Kritika Jain. Laxmi Ale. Lena Tapa. Lubna Rahan. Marcos Ferreira Bento. Mohammed Asam Maali. Marari Hamagain. Marlene Vitran. Natasha Panmarja. Neha Kumari Timulsina. Navika Prasanthi Tula Bandula. Palwinda Kaur Gaidu. Prativa Kathleen. Priyanka Chandrakant Chakandi. Pooja Damala. Regina Kadiwada. Rebecca Suba. Reshma Kunwa. Rosalina Damascel Eva. Rabina Ray. Ruby Pradham. Sabina Ranabujel. Sajani Gurung. Samjana Pandi Bandari. Sangeeta Khatri. Sapana Dakal. Shristri Kadiwada. Smita Basnet. Sneha Pokharel. Sristri Parkel. Sumita Lama. Sushma Damal. Vasha Shetri. Congratulations to all our health and education graduates and those And seeing you did that so well, how about another round of applause for those graduating in absentia today who've been studying on their own and managing to get through. Oh, thank you. Not all perfect, but I try. I'd like to call upon our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Alwyn Louw, to present the Health and Education Awards.
I'm so glad that Kath got all the names right, so it allows me some slack, you know. Right. Our college students and graduates today will receive the following awards: the Excellence in Higher Education, the highest academic achievement by a student eligible to graduate at the Sydney ceremony in any higher education course offered by the faculty. The second one is the Be Good. It is awarded to the graduate that embodies Here for Good at Torrens University, Australia, and Think Education. This award is for a graduate that has worked alongside our organization to and used collective skills and experiences to create positive and lasting change. The Be Good award is presented to Sophia Tsenekikis. Come up to the podium, please. Yes? No problem. You earned this grace, so that's good. Sophia contributed to creating a positive student community by volunteering as a student tutor in the first years that the university offered a peer assistance study scheme. As a high-achieving student, Sophia tutored students in a foundational anatomy and physiology and biochemistry. She was diligent in her preparation for the role, offering kind, patient, and supportive learning advice. Her past sessions were always well attended, and tutoring assisted many students in successfully completing these challenging first-year health sciences subjects. Sophia's enthusiasm to contribute to the early stage PASS program is a testament to her personal social responsibility for creating a positive campus community culture for domestic and international students. In 2017, PASS tutors were student volunteers who gave up their own time to help other students, and the program has developed significantly since then. Thank you. Thank you. Rebecca Adorni. Okay, you can go that way now and stay there. For the Bachelor of Applied Social Science, Counseling, consistently high academic performance, recognized for her work as part of her fieldwork placement experience in the Torrens University Student Wellbeing Program during 2020. Rebecca provided wellbeing support and counseling to international student cohorts during trimester 2 and 3. She received a high distinction in fieldwork too. Thank you so much. The Industry Award is presented to Lisa McNaughton. She is unfortunately not here today, it seems to me. Are you here? Very good. So, because my notes say you have someone standing in for you, but we're so happy that you're here. Lisa was a very engaged student and excelled in clinical practice by caring deeply for her clients and being diligent with developing evidence-based treatment plans. Lisa has now progressed to private clinical practice, where she has a focus on assisting clients with sleep, anxiety, hormonal and pain management health issues. Please. Thank you very much. I interpreted notes wrongly, so I didn't get marks for this one. Thank you, Kath. That concludes. I would like to welcome Sophia Tsenekikis, Bachelor of Health Science, to give the graduate address.
Ah, bright lights. Attention, I don't like public speaking, but here I am. Thank you, Kath, for that. We did it! It was hard, and I'm sure we all have our epic journey and story to tell. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you a bit about mine. So it took me 10 years to finish this degree, and what a degree. Worked full-time through most of it, moved interstate twice, ran a business, and somehow fit life in there as well. I'm a mother of 2 pets, so that's quite demanding as well. I wanted to drop out many times, because as a mature age student, it's hard to stay focused on such a big degree. And I did think the degree would have a bit more fairy dust, but no. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. But I had great support from people like Catherine Smith, our lecturers, our clinic supervisors, and I think I've actually said to Catherine, I'm done, like, I can't do this anymore. And she was amazing. So we actually are really fortunate to have graduated at such a great college. And family, friends, my Greek mama who would come over with pots of food, moussaka, spanakopita, you know, making sure I was well fed during my studies. And we couldn't have done it without those people that we love. And here we are, about to enter into a profession where we get to change people's lives for the positive, hopefully. No matter how big or small that is the greatest honour I think that anyone can have. And we have done all the hard work to get there. And one thing I've realised, I work in the industry at the moment, and I have done for a few years, is that practitioners are very warm, loving people. I know that there are some that aren't, as the previous speaker said, but we can work together, and when you go out there and you're in clinic, you're not alone. Reach out to each other for support, motivation, you know, network with each other, work on your patient cases if you're stuck. There's people out there that can support you. And that's all I have to say. Congratulations. Well done. We've done it.
Thank you, Sophia. Come back. They want to escape off the stage, don't they? Sophia, that was concise, warm, honest, and really demonstrates that it's all about perseverance, isn't it? And all the people around us who love us. So, Sophia, thank you for a beautiful speech. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to welcome back to the podium Vice-Chancellor Professor Alwyn Louw to deliver the graduation closing speech.
President, members of the executive, staff and colleagues, and very specifically our graduates, parents, friends, and the support structures and members of our students. We really appreciate your presence, and it's wonderful to share a few ideas with you this morning. Always interesting to listen to our speakers, and specifically each of the verticals coming from the different disciplines having very specific perspectives. From your vertical, it's very interesting, the service orientation, the awareness of contributing and supporting and helping, make it easier for people around there. And I can really appreciate that. So what is it that we're talking about this morning? Graduation ceremonies are moments when we look back, we consolidate our experiences during our period of learning and growing towards this day. And I think our last speaker specifically indicated, precisely that. This is enough, I had enough now. That's the consolidation moment. But the first speaker said, don't worry, that will also pass. At the same time, it is loaded with the expectation and a bit of fear of what next, and dreams of all the opportunities this new status will unlock. Nelson Mandela said, there's no passion to be found in playing small. Live a life you are capable of. And what is it that we're really afraid of? We're really afraid of the potential we may unlock. In other words, what is going to happen if I just get involved and starting to give it my all? What may come from that? Looking at people who made a significant contribution during their lives, it is evident that there are some key characteristics that we can learn from. And primary to these is the importance of having a clear purpose. A purpose of who you are, why and where you are heading. And it's important that we focus on that question and we make time to answer that question. We are living in an era where the noise of society may cause us to become a product of our environment rather than being an architect of it. In other words, we become the result of something else. Purpose allows us the opportunity to take control of our lives and the direction we are heading. And this enables you to live a life of meaning by integrity. In other words, a life where what you say and what you commit to will come to pass. It will realize because you're going to live according to it. In this stage, when you're working and focusing on your purpose and your integrity, you will find that your self-interested goals change to contributive goals. And it is on this basis where you really start to grow. Because then you really start to ask different questions. It is evident, however, that success depends on, and this is not just going to happen, it depends on commitment, without which you will never start something, never start anything. And consistency, without which you will never finish anything. So in other words, it takes effort. We must really focus on it, make sure that we drive towards it. Looking forward from today, it is important that the dreams you have must find meaning in the purpose and the goals you attach to it. If not, it remains only ideas without feet. It is evident that all success stories are grounded in the consistent commitment to take risk and never give up. In other words, this is where I'm going, this is why I'm going there, and this is how I'm going to get there. And the rest of it is consistent focus. We see the success of Thomas Edison, who had 1,000 failed experiments and then developed the light bulb. That is consistent focus to get there. We see Elon Musk with Tesla, the latest example, turning on the brink of failure, where he had to borrow money from friends to pay his rent. But based on his vision, his commitment, his consistency, he made it through, and now he's the second richest person in the world. It is important to learn that success comes through the understanding that we need each other. Everyone must take responsibility, and in this process, hope is imperative. We must build everything step by step within our social and support environment. We must always focus on seeing the bigger picture. And this is this interesting little story about the 3 brickmakers, where they asked the brickmakers, so what are you doing? And the first guy said, I'm making bricks. And the second one said, I'm making bricks because I want to build a wall. And the third one said, we are building a cathedral. You see the difference? The difference is I'm part of something bigger. I'm busy constructing something that will really have a better and bigger impact because I'm part of a bigger vision. It is imperative that life and great ideals never stop with ourselves. True success stories always aim at something higher, something better, and beyond myself. A classical example is Mother Teresa. The question is now, for us today, how do we translate what we have, our skills, our values, our knowledge, and our attitudes towards those things that are the challenges of today? Inequality, poverty, unemployment, climate, environmental issues, access to education, and we can continue with the list. Our context asks, and our context says, that we should continuously equip ourselves to participate in the process of building society. In other words, it's not a free ride into society after I achieved something like a degree. In other words, the key competencies that we have must be developed to do what? To capitalize on all the things happening around us. Technology is exploding. New opportunities, new potential happens. But fundamental to all the research and work that is happening in this space is that we must develop our human skills to be humans as good as we can. And we must use the technology and the developments to enable us to do more, to achieve more. In other words, not become a product of something outside ourselves, but use that to improve what we are able to achieve. And therefore, we focus on those things that will make us effective in this environment. And we have 10 key competencies in the 4th Industrial Revolution, all human issues and typical soft issues if you want to. Active listening, the ability to listen to other people, to tackle real complex problems and understand them and find solutions, to think outside our own current limitations through creativity, to take arguments to a higher level through rational reflection, and that is critical thinking, the judgment and decision-making to prioritize and effectively decide on what is best, to negotiate situations well, to ensure that we contribute and manage people in a way that it will be to the interest of each and everyone, and to consistently focus on quality control and have a service orientation. You develop these skills during your learning. With the focus discussed, or as discussed above, you must continue to grow it in your lifelong learning process. It requires commitment and consistency and is motivated by your sense of purpose based on the clarity of your passion. And the last reference here Warren Buffett says, you should link all these things that you do with curiosity. Always ask the question, why? Never accept that what you think, what your perception is inevitably true. Always ask the question, why? Focus. Humility, so important. And then a sense of humor. Life is serious, but it's definitely important that you have fun in living it. That's exciting. Congratulations with your wonderful achievements. We are proud of you. We remain committed to be your lifelong partner in your journey to go and be good in a world with so many opportunities and challenges. Welcome as a member of the alumni of Torrens University. Remain active in the alumni structures, because that's an opportunity for you to find inspiration and support and also make contributions. And I want to congratulate the families and the friends of our graduates. Thank you very much for trusting us with the education of your children and your partners. We are honored to be your partners in this process and build something bigger than ourselves together. Thank you very much. This is the end of the ceremony. With your mind,
Can we ask everybody to please let the academic party leave the room? Can guests now please wait for all our new graduates?
Across the world, we gather. Across the world, we learn. From each other, about each other, with each other.
With this quarantine, I'm not going stir crazy because I also have this little fluff ball.
Got a desk set up here with my laptop on a stand, a bit of paper on the side.
It was my first experience pitching to a real client.
In my mind, this is a fast track to these people being our industry leaders of the future.
Having studied and getting the knowledge here, and transferring it back to the community is just a way of saving people's lives, Saving people's lives doesn't mean that someone is going to die and you're saving it. No. Somebody might be in a very hard situation, but due to my knowledge, I can help him.
You are now a part of a graduate network that spans across the globe. Make sure you leverage it and connect with your fellow alumni.
When you're out in the industry, it doesn't matter what year you graduated. It doesn't matter how old you are. Because when it comes out to the industry and we're networking with each other, we can all have like-minded skills.
When it's a no-brainer and it's in your blood and it burns and it's what you know and it's what you love, and you wake up in the morning, you think about it, and you just have to do it at all costs. You do it. You're unstoppable at it.
I encourage you to keep persevering, don't give up, and have fun along the way. I did.